You are watching Fugitive Red-Eye, and welcome to a new kind of video here on my channel. I don't plan on making this a regular thing, however, I tried to do this with gameplay and there were some issues. So instead I will be using screenshots for this video. So first off, what I'm actually going to be talking about today, in case you couldn't infer from the title, will be Blackadder, more specifically the first series, The Blackadder. Many reviewers and fans alike quickly dismiss Edmund's first incarnation as the weakest in the series. However, I myself favor it over the rest, and in this video I will explain why. There's a couple of reasons here, and I will be talking about them in as much depth as I feel necessary. Reason 1. The setting. I absolutely love the Middle Ages. It's an interesting, fascinating part of history. And it's one of my all-time favorite settings for fiction. It's cryptic, it's primitive, it's just entertaining. And frankly, it's dark, there's all sorts of good things about it, and I think that it's one of the better settings to have a fictional story set. Reason number 2, the budget. The Blackadder actually had a huge budget in comparison to the later seasons. It's set apart that way because the later seasons are all done with studio sets, whereas this was all filmed on location. A large majority of the scenes are outdoors, and many of them are on horseback, which makes it feel like there's a more expansive world out there to be explored. Not to mention, it gives it more variety. Now, the studio sets are good, but again, they don't feel as varied as the outdoor horseback, the castles, all the different locations. This budget also allowed for more intricate locations and better costume designs. Reason 3. The supporting cast. Baldric is a staple of Blackadder and has been in every single episode of every single one of the series. But in the first series, there were several other side characters that weren't carried over that I really do think get overlooked. Like Richard IV, the fictional king of England, who's the nephew of the real-life Richard III. In the fictional ending to the Battle of Bosworth's Field, he takes over. He's also Edmund's father. He's played by the amazingly funny Brian Blessed, which is probably one of the best characters in Blackadder history, in my opinion. Lord Percy, Blackadder's other sidekick, and on occasion his punching bag or butt of the occasional joke. And when I say occasional, I mean all the fucking time. He's an imbecile, and he's in Series 2 as well, but not 3 or 4 or any of the specials, but, he's even dumber than the later Baldrics would be. There's the Queen, who's a loving and caring mother to Edmund, as well as kind of a dunce, I think, and she's also a witch. Prince Harry, Edmund's brother, who, again, I don't think is all there in the head. I don't think any character in the first series of Blackadder is, or any series of Blackadder, to be perfectly honest, other than the later Blackadder himself. Also, Prince Harry is a lot more loved by his father than Edmund is. And this is just to name a few of the characters. There's also characters that aren't in every episode, such as the Witch Smeller Pursuivant, the Spanish Infanta, Princess Leia of Hungary. There's a lot of good supporting side characters and jokes that I think get overlooked by fans of the later series. Reason number 4, Edmund himself. I always loved pathetic Weasley characters, i.e. Red Dwarf's Arnold J. Rimmer. And although I do like the brilliant smartass Blackadder that we got in the later series, I do prefer this one in some ways because he's funnier, to me anyway, because, from cowering at his enemies, to plotting behind people's backs, to taking credit for plans that other people come up with. I found him a much more complex character than the others, but there's a few reasons. Those are just a few reasons why I think that it's better. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but I feel that the first series gets really underrated to a criminal degree. My all-time favorite episodes, if I had to pick, would have to be Witch Smeller Pursuivant and Queen of Spain's Beard, rather. Very good episodes. If you're going to only see 1 or 2 episodes, I definitely recommend Queen of Spain's Beard and Witch Smeller Pursuivant. Now, I do love the later seasons of Blackadder, particularly the second, although I do love them all. A lot of people will tell you that the show gets better as it progresses, and each season is better than the last, meaning their favorite is Series 4, whereas their least favorite is the first. Personally, I kind of have the opposite feeling for the most part. I mean, I absolutely love every single episode of every single season. And I don't think the show, I think it could go on for more and I'd still watch it, even though it's a lot later on now. And, I've watched all the specials and I love them all as well. I do definitely feel that if you haven't seen the first season, either because of all the people negatively criticizing it, or you have seen it and you yourself didn't think much about it, I do urge you to go back and take a look at it, just to see if there's anything there that you didn't realize the first time. I mean, yes, it's not as well put together in some script areas, or at least that's the argument, but honestly, I don't see it. And if you like Mr. Bean, there are a lot of similarities, at least in the movements and the way and the mannerisms of the first Blackadder in comparison. However, I still think the first Blackadder is a much better character than Mr. Bean as well. I definitely recommend you watch it if you haven't. Other than that, this has been Fugitive Red Eye, and you have a great day.